Thanks for staying with us on the show. This is Transformation Tuesday on Frontline, where we'll take a look at entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Those who are using Nigerian materials to make Nigerian goods for the Nigerian market, and of course to also send to the global markets at large. And on Transformation Tuesday today, we're looking at something interesting and exciting. Oftentimes we see the conventional things. Automobiles move around. You have to fuel your car. You have to take your car to the mechanics. We have the manual vehicles. We have the automated vehicles. And with technology, it seems like inventors are improving on what form and what models automobiles can come in these days. And today we have a Nigerian in the studio who is working on electric car. He's looking at how to create a world of e-mobility using renewable energy. And his name is Olukokun Tolulokpe. You're welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much.
Yes, well, of course, he's also a lecturer at the Federal Polytechnic Ibadan and is into mechatronics engineering, automobiles. What gave you the desire to invent something like that?
Okay, thank you very much. First, I want to say I'm from the Polytechnic Ibadan, not the Federal Polytechnic.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's a state-owned polytechnic. Okay, so the journey started in 2008 and this subsidy issue. So I was so tired, I didn't like it. So I tried to see if there are other means I could power my vehicle that I would not need to buy fuel. So I got an inkling of Nissan Leaf, which was the first commercially produced electric car. Okay. So I contacted them in Lagos, and unfortunately they told me the technology of the car is not meant for Nigeria as at that time. So I was like, why? And the obvious reasons, they still existed today, no electricity and all of that. Then there are one of other things the manager told me is that there is no technician to see to it. I even went there, I said if I should import it myself, I said it will be out of warranty and they won't be able to attend to it. So I tried China market again. I could see electric vehicles that are, as at that time, not well developed. They could only travel about 40 kilometers per hour max speed. So okay. that looks like a glorified golf cart, like sports stuff. So that prompted me to go into research and see how do we have our own electric car that will function here in Nigeria, and independent of all the issues. At a point I discovered that every technology you see is actually fashioned out for a particular environment. Okay, so it's not well reasonable that we just adopt all these technologies into our own system or environment without adapting it to the peculiarities of our environment. So that is why it is reasonable, it is necessary for us to look inward and start our own technology, the indigenous technology, so that we'll be able to have products that will, survive in our environment, that will make sense, that, despite all the conditions that are not favorable, we'll be able to have products that will still be sustainable within them. So I was able to come up with a product I patented. I believe with the development of such product, I will be able to have electric vehicle that will not necessarily depend on PHCN or NEPA before they could move. So I want to assure Nigerians that in a few years' time, this product will be developed and we will definitely have electric vehicle that will not mind whether you have electricity in your home or not.
But okay, maybe you should explain to us, because if you're saying electric vehicle, of course, the first thing that came to my mind when you said it was how sustainable is this going to be in Nigeria, where we have epileptic power supply. So if you're saying we're using electric vehicle, if it's not going to take cognizance of epileptic power supply, how then does it operate? Okay,
so it's in this part of the world that we have not really harnessed what we call renewable energy.
Okay.
Now, with the Paris Agreement and the climate change issues, everybody every country, the whole world is transitioning to renewable energy right now because we want clean energy. Now, we are so lucky here. We have everything. Natural disaster doesn't occur too much here. Though people complain about the cost of implementation of solar panels, solar energy, and all of that. But as the demands are coming in, the prices are dropping fast. So we have the abundance of the sun, and in Nigeria, we could even say we have more than 325 days of sunlight, of sunshine and all of that. We have heavy bodies of water for hydropower. We have a lot of wind for wind power. So all of these things we have not been harnessing. Recently, Kenya launched the largest wind farm in Africa. You can imagine the abundance of electricity we could have. And there's what we call mini grid. See, our problem is because our power is centralized. By the time it's decentralized, every region, every sector, we have a lot of power, more than we might even need ever. So at a point, if we look at the way we are currently generating electricity is through turbines and all of that, then fuel from hydropowers, the Kanji Dam and the likes. So, but then if we go fully renewable with the amount of space we have, look at the green fields we have there, we could put, wind, solar panel and all of that. And I thank God these things are already coming up in Nigeria, we have some universities that are already deploying massive scale renewable source of energy that they are not on any national grid at all. So their source of power is majorly the renewable. So with such, electric vehicle will thrive. You could charge your car with your solar panel. And if you have heard of Tesla roof solar panel, so you could have your house, build it, and cover the whole ceiling with solar. Because the tiles are solar. So and the prices are becoming so cheaper than the cost of the roof itself. Like you have a what do we call aluminum roofing sheet that we use majorly in Nigeria. If you compare the cost of what you will need to use solar roof with that one, the solar roof is now cheaper. So I believe there is a lot of, we need to look into it, and if Africa is cash poor, these are the solutions we need to retain some money in our pockets, because they really do. It's low maintenance. You don't need to maintain them and all of that. A lot of advantages. And maybe in the course of the program.
We'll move on to more. Now let's talk about the vehicle. You said it's still in development stage.
Yeah.
So how far have you gone?
Okay, so far I must commend Nigerians that quite a number of people have been into this field. Some have come up with their solutions, and one of the key areas I'm looking at is conversion. I'm converting a regular petrol car to an electric car. Now, this is how this is. The reason why I chose that particular kind of project is because I need us to feel the aesthetic. I need us to see electric car as something that is possible. I mean, it's not going to be something that is bulky or a kind of design you would not like. It's going to be like your regular car. So I needed to use a normal car for it. And so far, we have been able to motorize the vehicle. Of course, it's still on the ramp and it's moving. It's moving, the tires are moving. What we need now is to put the electronics, the batteries and the controllers, so that you could control your speed, you could slow down at any point, That is the point the project is currently. And we just finished a prototype for an electric bicycle, which will be suitable for students, you see. By virtue of my work, I lecture in Polytechnic Ibadan, and most times while in class, I see my students sleeping. And you would not blame them because they've trekked too much distance. Now, if they have access to electric bicycles, they will get to where they are going on time very cheaply, and they will still be very refreshed and all of that. Consider our rural commuters too, the farmers and all of that. These are solutions that are meant to make their life better and part of the SDGs.
Okay, well, of course, this this idea is a beautiful one. I mean, we're looking at ways to make life easier for the people, and in a very safe way also. But looking at the peculiarity of, you did say it at first, that every technology is built to combat the cultural, I mean, the environmental differences in a particular place. Now, looking at the peculiarity of the Nigerian road, how realistic is this issue of electric? I mean, we've seen companies that produce electric cars. The videos are there on YouTube that you've seen how they move, you've seen the effect of it. How realistic is it in Nigeria?
Well, if we look at, you see, majorly the infrastructure is quite poor in Nigeria, but that does not mean the technology cannot work in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, because of course all of us ride in normal petrol car, diesel vehicles despite the road conditions. Now, so the road are there, the only difference is what powers or what moves the car. So even with the bad road, electric car will still ride on it. Yeah.
Okay.
But majorly what we are looking at is electric vehicle is somewhat about between 7 to 15 components, while that of petrol cars and diesel are about 10,000 components coupled together. So, and we are talking about reliability. So by the time all of these companies are moving to generate all of this stuff, there is maintenance issue. But with the electric vehicle, there are lower maintenance issues. I mean, you don't get to visit any mechanic in months. There's no oil change. There's nothing. Everything is electric. It's motor. It's, you know, my quick example for people is that if you have a generator at home and you have a water pump at home, which one do you service more? I mean, these are two essential tools or equipment we use for our daily life. You pump water as much as every day, and you probably put on your generator as much as every day, but you will definitely service your generator more, and you might not service your car, your electric pump in 1 year. So that's how electric car is to to petrol cars, the carbon and everything. And besides, you see, the emissions are not sustainable. They are killing. There has been a lot of research out there that says the number of people that die due to air pollution, that it's a killer in Africa. So by the time we rid our environment with all of these things, probably not rid but reduce it, we'll have a safer environment.
Okay, now let's talk about some basic issues that innovators have in Nigeria. I mean, we've brought entrepreneurs to this show a lot of time, and one major thing is getting the raw materials needed for production. I mean, mostly, and that is one of the things killing businesses in Nigeria. We have to import raw materials to produce in Nigeria. Now, you said you're working on conversion.
Yeah.
That means you need to like get a car. Yeah. That may be a Toyota, a Nissan, and convert it to an electric car. Yeah. Now, the cost of importing and converting this car, will it not affect the cost of sale by the time we're done and we want to start selling electric cars?
You see, different businesses have different entry points. Now, for this kind of product, I need a prototype, a minimum viable product, something like a test of what I think I can do. Okay. So I do not have to import. There are abundance of vehicles in Nigeria already. Some dilapidated, some bad. What I need to do is pick a car, look for the one that has a good body. If not, repair the body and start putting things I need in it. So I do not necessarily have to import. See, National Bureau of Statistics says that Nigeria has about 11.7 million vehicles currently. Now, if we will convert those cars to electric, those ones, not buying new ones.
Not buying.
365 days, if we are doing one per day, you should see that we'll spend more than a century to convert all that we have. So it's a viable market. I don't have to import. So the materials are there. Now, in production, there has not been a single line of production whereby you, from start to finish, you produce the materials yourself. No, you have to get some material from somewhere. Sometimes you import, but they are minimal. They could be 20-30% of what you're doing, not necessarily 80% of it. So like electric motors, because that's what we use in electric mobility majorly. If I'm buying locally, I'm buying fairly used. But if I want to import, I'm buying brand new ones and with specs. And you know, Nigerian market, we don't have this data whereby you can say, okay, this is the exact thing I'm buying and all of that. So another issue is that according to the bill, listening to Senator Ben Bruce, the bill he was trying to pass about electric vehicle, even though he captioned it banning of petrol cars, which I didn't support, but there are other attachments to that bill that will have supported electric vehicle and all of that and renewables, you know, energy in Nigeria, which is to give rebates, subsidize the, you know, import duties and all of this for people that are into this sector, so as to encourage them, you see. So we're looking at import duties and all of that is high, it's impacting on the cost. And again, you see, Nigeria doesn't fund research and development. I mean, it's so difficult for you to say you are bringing something new in the country and you want to research it here. In fact, it has been a tug of war. It's not easy. Nobody will fund it. Everything I've been doing so far, I'm just getting some attention, from some quarters, you know. So it's difficult to go into research extensively as much as you would like it. Look at many research institutes we have in Nigeria. Foreign people, foreign partners and all of that. So fund is one major issue in disruption, in innovation and all of that. I don't know, people say trust issues or integrity, but once you see what, I mean, it should be a particular, that it is not, that no society can develop without research and development. So, and that is why we are so low in technology in Nigeria. We do not fund research and development in that area, and it's really saddening. It's something I don't like remembering at all. You know, if you look at an average Nigerian, is a talented person. We have been on the internet, we've seen a 16, 10-year-old boys, guys, girls, what they are able to do with little material. See, if any Nigeria could make any product here in Nigeria and is celebrated, that person will excel 100 times more in an enabling environment like America, Canada, and the likes. You know why? For you to even get your materials together, you have finished more than 1,000 products elsewhere. To access materials in this country, see, anybody that is into innovation in this country, I salute them. They have gone to war and they have won. I can tell you that because I'm in their shoes right now. Okay.
Now, of course, we'd like to know this project you're working on. Is it a sole project or you have a team? And who are those that comprises the youth? Because one major thing again is, I mean, even the president of the country did say it at some point that Nigerian youths do not want to put so much into work. They would like to, of course, sit and be receiving some form of money. So who are what's the age bracket of the people that work with you, if you have people who work with you, and how is their contribution towards the development of this project?
Well, you see, as far as the statement is concerned, I like to detach myself from that statement that it's because there was no statistic to, you know, ascertain that. We need data. Probably the president actually conducted the research for him to know that the Nigerian youth are not committed to work. I do not believe that. Okay, so by virtue of my work, like I said, I work in Polytechnic Ibadan. You see, my students are so excited, always excited to join me in the workshop. I own a private workshop right now. I mean, the cost of building that workshop between 2015 and now is about 5 million naira of my own savings. So it's not been easy. That's why I said people working on innovation in this country are really heroes. So my students are part of my team always because I like to impart the knowledge. You see,
Okay.
I'm a team player so much, and while we are there, with some videos I sent to you, you see some of them working with me already. So, but the issue is that it's not all the time I have the materials to work with. So we go on breaks, quite a long break sometimes. So we just keep doing the classwork and all the practicals we have in school. But by the time we have cogent things to work on, they all come. In fact, they always fight, and I cannot accommodate all of them in the workshop. So it's always a pleasure to bring all these young people together. I mean, they are guys we have trained, and they are doing very fine in automation. They can build a car for you right now, but a mini car like that, like a toy that you can control with your phone and what have you. You see, automation and everything is the order of the day in the school. So, I mean, mechatronics engineering is doing very well in that part. So, my team majorly are my students. So, and we are doing fantastically well. So, everybody is contributing what they know, because I have some of them that are artisans, like rewires, like mechanics, and all of them. They are always excited to come. The video shows how we, remove the engine. All of them, every one of them knows what they need to do per time. So it's exciting. Sometimes I just sit down and I watch. I say, okay, let's do this, and like that.
All right. You talked about funding for innovators in the country. That it's a major challenge. I mean, recently we met. I had a discussion with one Mr. Kendi Obasanjo, who builds a jet car, an amphibian car that can walk on water and on land. And of course, you did say that is also trying to get the attention of the federal government for funding. Now, have you been what support have you been able to gather in the aspects of government? Because again, we know that once you get through to the last stage, I mean, there has to be a policy that allows for the electric car to go into the Nigerian market. I mean, for people to start purchase. What steps have you taken in getting the attention of the government?
Well, of course, there has not been so much opportunity in Nigeria as it is. So I must confess to you. But by virtue of my work right now, I'm getting some sort of support from the Polytechnic Ibadan. I mean, we are hoping that these things will come into limelight very soon. I don't know if I'm permitted to talk about it right now, but I mean, some support is coming. Like, okay, let's do this together, and that makes sense to me. And you see, majorly, we have had a lot of information about funds available for this kind of thing, but the accessibility is quite different.
Okay.
So, like I say, the funds are available, but the accessibility is different. I hope it's not politicized, because I've quite made some efforts on different applications that has not been successful. The criteria I may not know, but I kept on doing what I know how to do, because I mean, any investors or anybody that want, any funder will believe in what they see. Now I have results, I have things I've been able to do on my own. So I believe the support will come in soon or later.
Okay. You've been working on this since 2015, like you said. Oh, since when? Okay,
so I started my research in 2011 after my counter, but I started practically fully the workshop and everything in 2015.
2015. 2015 till now, it's like a long time. Yeah, so what has been fueling your desire to ensure that you see this project through?
Oh, I have passion. First of all, I'm trained as a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
I am automobile major. So I have passion for it. And the truth is that togetherness, that's the essence of why we are here. I do not need to see my other person dying because of air pollution and all of that before I can do something, So this is my own quota to the environment. It's expensive right now to actually bring an electric car in. But if we make some locally by ourselves, it will be so cheap for everybody to afford. And you see, I'm not even looking at you owning it. I'm looking at having them for public transportation. That is where it will be most effective. So we could have electric buses made here in Nigeria. So I mean, I'm looking forward to working with the likes of Innocent. Give us the body of the bus. We put in all the electronics, and they keep plying the road. I mean, for public transportation, that's my focus majorly. It's not for you to own and oppress others. That's not my focus. Where this project will be very impactful is in public transportation, and that's what we are looking at the end of the day. Once we are able to do all these things, we'll even make it smart. You could order your transportation, or you could order your ride from your phone and all of that. So all of these things is what we are looking at, myself and my team, to make sure we bring this sustainable solution, you see. And with your permission, we have another forum in which combines all African youths that are into this same thing. And we are about to gather in Ghana by January 2020. So we invite everybody, your field, those that are into energy, those that are into transportation, insurance, government, different kind of people. We call it the SIT Summit. Sustainable energy and transport, because that's the way for Africa, whether we like it or not. Senator Bruce has shouted a lot about these things, but the issue is that beyond talking, are we working? So some of us are working. We are walking the talk we do. It's not just to talk about it, it's to walk it. So if we do not show people, I mean, you can go on the street of Ibadan now and say, do you know about electric cars? Someone will look at you and say, what do you mean?
What are you saying?
But when you see it, you can't deny it anymore, So we are employing everybody to give us the opportunity. People talk about crowdfunding. I don't know how well that is workable in this part of the world. You see? But without fund, we have little or nothing to do. You see, we will just be trying by our own self. And at a point in time, my wife would tap me and say, "Hey, you have kids.
Of course.
Please mind the way you spend money on those projects. That kind of a thing." So it has been really exciting and depressing at the same time, because you have a lot to do, yet you don't have the economic power to get it done. So, I mean, generally, that's how it is.
Okay, finally, before we let you go, what is the future for those projects? I mean, how long do you think it's going to take you before we begin to see the actualization of the electric car? And what do you think is the future of electric cars in Nigeria?
I want to say emphatically that the future is in electric vehicle.
Okay.
My children, we wouldn't have gotten married before they will be asking, was there anything like petrol cars before? I mean, that is the future. Petrol is not going to go away finally, but it's going to fade gradually. I mean, this, please mark my word, these are my predictions. We'll go renewable almost 100% in a few years' time. And electric vehicle will be the order of the day, whether e-mobility generally will be the order of the day, because we already have electric planes right now, and electric trains, and electric what's this, trailers, all these big vehicles, construction vehicles, you see. So this is the way it's going to be, and Africa will profit more. You know why? Because it's low maintenance. You don't have to pay heavily to get yourself on the road. So your money, if you are a transporter and you are using an electric vehicle, you make more than 100% profit. So everybody, once it's available right now, everybody will jump to it. Number one, they are more powerful, they are more faster, low maintenance. Everything suggests that this is the way we should go. We should. Economic wise, environmental wise, that's the future. And the future is there already. Is here
already. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tolulokokun, for coming to the studios.
You're welcome.
And of course, I will keep tab on your projects to bring updates on how far you move as time goes on. But that's what we'll be taking on Transformation Tuesday today. And I hope, of course, it's been exciting, because it's been exciting for me knowing that the future is in renewable energy, and that we can have electric vehicles converted and made here in Nigeria without having to spend so much or break the bank to have access to one. Do join us again next week for another interesting episode of Transformation Tuesday. I also bring to you Nigerians making waves in ensuring that they put the nation on the global map out there. My name is Adeola. Okay, do have a lovely day.